Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Will Ralph Rangnick win a trophy at Manchester United? I think he could. Rangnick has got a decent pedigree behind him. Yesterday, Rangnick got announced as Manchester United's interim manager on a 6-month contract until the end of the season. Then Rangnick will continue in a consultory role for a further 2 years. Rangnick is unlikely to be in charge for the game against Arsenal. His visa has not yet been processed. Before Manchester United, he was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Before, he's managed Schalke. Revert back to 2011, he won the German Cup with Schalke, and he got Schalke to the Champions League semi-final. Before, he managed RB Leipzig. He got them to the final back in 2019. Before, he's managed Hoffenheim and Stuttgart. He's been coaching for a very long time. But Ralph Rangnick, I think he will improve Manchester United. Revert back to what I said on one of my recent videos. I think he'll get the best out of these group of players. He's good at developing young players as well. He's a far superior manager to Solskjaer. By the way, Rangnick wants Amadou Haidara in January. He's valued at around £33 million. Manchester United will get a permanent manager at the end of the season. We'll either get Pochettino or Erik ten Hag. I was talking with you a lot about Pochettino last week, wasn't I? Pochettino came out and said that he's happy at PSG and he won't let the Man United rumours distract him. And it said PSG rejected Manchester United's approach to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. But the other week it said Pochettino is interested in the Manchester United job. And the Manchester Evening News came out and said that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as their next permanent manager. And he said Man United agreed to pay the £10 million compensation fee for Pochettino. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Mourinho. The club should have got Pochettino then, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. Pochettino is a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything. I think he has won a cup with PSG. He's got a full season left on his PSG contract. Pochettino is proven in the Premier League, because before he managed Tottenham, he endured 5.5 years at Tottenham. He almost won the Premier League when he was Tottenham manager, and he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final back in 2018, and before he managed Southampton. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and before he managed Espanyol. Erik ten Hag, it's said not so long ago that he's said to be interested in the Man United job in the summer, and Ajax will not stand in his way if he wants to leave at the end of the season. You've got to admire what Erik ten Hag has done at Ajax. You know, he's won a few trophies with them. I like the way he develops young players. He's been Ajax manager for around 4 years, and he's got a contract with them until 2023. Before Ajax, he was at Utrecht. Before Utrecht, he managed Bayern Munich's reserve team, and before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. He's Manchester United's alternative target to Pochettino, so if Man United don't get Pochettino, they'll look to get Erik ten Hag. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson. You know, Manchester United sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Man United finished 7th under the David Moyes era. That's the lowest we've finished in the Premier League era, I think. Then Manchester United sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. Then Man United sacked Jose Mourinho after like 2.5 years. Mourinho did win 3 trophies in his first season, so he did enjoy one good season at Man United. And then Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer following the 4-1 defeat to Watford the other week. As you all know, Solskjaer gave a farewell interview, and he got emotional in that farewell interview, which was obviously understandable because Solskjaer adores the club. You know, he was part of the club for a long time. You know, he was Manchester United manager for almost 3 years, and he enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United, so that's almost 14 years in total. You know, despite Manchester United sacking Solskjaer, all United fans still adore him, reflecting on what he did for the club. Manchester United certainly made the right decision sacking Solskjaer. I don't think the club really wanted to sack him, but they had no choice in the end. Manchester United paid Solskjaer around $7.5 million because, revert back to last summer, he signed a 3-year contract with an option of a further year. Manchester United should have never given him that contract because I knew for a long time that he wasn't the long-term manager. Manchester United have been playing catch-up now for like the last 8 years or so. Manchester United have not been the same team since Ferguson retired. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. It does take some managers time to settle in. Ferguson endured around 26 years at Manchester United, but no one will replicate what he did. Manchester United have got some very, very good players. And hopefully now, under Ralph Rangnick, we're going to start to get the best out of these group of players, because quite clearly we weren't getting the best out of these players under Solskjaer. Look who we've got. You've got Marcus Rashford. That's a good player. Rashford did well in the second half against Chelsea, but I thought he was poor in the first half, and he also made an impact when he came on in the 2-0 win against Villarreal last week. At one point, Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. A lot of the time now, Rashford does play on the left wing. I think we need to keep him there because that's where he's mostly effective. There again though, against Chelsea, Rashford was playing up top alongside Sancho. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7. Risen up our academy, and that he's been in our senior squad since 2016, and he's got a contract with Man United until 2023. Jadon Sancho, he's a good player, and we're now starting to get the best out of Jadon Sancho. He's scored 2 goals so far for the club. He scored against Chelsea. His goal against Chelsea came from a mistake from Jorginho, but it was still a good counter-attacking goal. Sancho had the option to square it to Rashford, but he didn't bother squaring it to Rashford. And Sancho scored in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. Revert back to when Manchester United had Solskjaer, we couldn't get the best out of Sancho because obviously Solskjaer was playing Sancho out of position. And there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in when we had Solskjaer. Manchester United got Sancho for 78 million with add-ons included. We paid around 73 million up front. Sancho's got a contract with the club until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. You got Mason Greenwood. That's also a talented player as well. Greenwood hasn't been available recently because he's been out with COVID. Greenwood could find it hard now though to get in the team if Sancho persists with these good performances. Because Mason Greenwood, when he plays on the right most of the time. Greenwood has scored 4 goals in the league so far this season. He scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester earlier on this season. At one point though, Greenwood did go a while without scoring, but Greenwood's been a revelation since he broke into our senior squad. He made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Man United have obviously got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Surprisingly, Ronaldo didn't start against Chelsea. He was on the bench, but Ronaldo did come on in the game. You can't expect Ronaldo though to start every game. Ronaldo played in the 2-0 win against Villarreal last week and he scored in that game. It was a lovely chip. But the goal from Ronaldo came from a mistake from the Villarreal goalkeeper. Ronaldo could have had more than 1 goal against Villarreal last week because he had 2 other chances in the game. Ronaldo has scored 10 goals in all competitions so far since he re-signed, and he has provided 2 assists. Ronaldo's got back-to-back awards as well since he re-signed, because he got named Player of the Month for October, and revert back to September, he got named Premier League Player of the Month. Ronaldo's got a contract with Manchester United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. He receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. Ronaldo wears the number 7 shirt. We got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 12.8 million up front. Ronaldo's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. And you've got Cavani, that's also a good player as well, but Cavani initially lost his place in the team with Man United re-signing Ronaldo last summer. Cavani's not available at the moment anyway, he's out with injury. He was out with injury earlier on this season. I think Cavani's leaving Man United next year, but I can't say I want him to leave with the impact he's made since he's come in. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. Revert back to May, Cavani signed that 1-year contract extension. Manchester United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG, and this season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. We've also got Bruno Fernandez, that's an exceptional player. Despite him being an exceptional player though, he has had poor games this season. Fernandez played against Chelsea last weekend. He did well defensively, but didn't show much attacking intent. Fernandez didn't start in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. It was Van Der Beek that started ahead of Fernandez in that number 10 against Villarreal, but Fernandez did come on in the game against Villarreal and he made an impact because he got an assist. Fernandez, was poor against City earlier on this season. He was also very poor against Watford. Fernandez starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games. He's been consistent though in a lot of games for Man United. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. He's been a United player for almost 2 years now. He has won awards, Fernandez, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandez did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. And when he first came to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Fernandez has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Donnie Van Der Beek, he's also a good player as well. I think there's a good chance that Van Der Beek will be leaving in January. Unless under Ralph Rangnick, Van Der Beek gets the opportunities that he's been demanding, then that could persuade him to stay. Van Der Beek did not get enough opportunities when we had Solskjaer, and reflecting on that, Van Der Beek was very frustrated. But towards the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United, Van Der Beek did confirm that he will be leaving in January. Van Der Beek didn't start against Chelsea recently, but he did come on. He started against Villarreal last week and he made an impact. He came on in the 4-1 defeat to Watford and made an instant impact. He scored in that game. That was only his second goal for the club. Van Der Beek has endured a difficult 19 months or so at Man United. This season is his second full season at the club. You know, reflecting on what Man United paid for him, you'd have expected him to play a lot more than he has done, you know, because Man United got him for 40 million. Add-ons were included. Man United paid around 35 million up front. Van Der Beek's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. And you've also got Paul Pogba. That's a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Revert back to the start of the season, you know, Pogba did well. Pogba's got 7 assists so far in the league this season. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. And he's had some ankle injuries as a United player as well. As you all know, Pogba's not available at the moment. He's out with a thigh injury. Revert back to earlier on this season, he suffered the thigh injury in France training. I think Pogba is out for the rest of the year. Revert back to earlier on this season, it said Man United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. The only way we won't sell him is if we can get him a new contract. Pogba's current contract expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. You know, he's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. He enjoyed 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. PSG have been in for him before, Barcelona have, and so too have Inter Milan. Mino Raiola, who's Pogba's agent, he's been working hard now for quite some time to get his client a move away from the football club. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's good defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not good. And there's aspects of Bissaka's game that's got to improve. He's got to show more attacking intent. His positioning's got to improve. His crossing's got to improve a bit more. You know, Bissaka recently played against Chelsea and I thought he was poor. His positioning was poor in that game. And obviously, Bissaka was the one that conceded the penalty because he fouled Thiago Silva in the 6-yard box. Bissaka though put a good performance out against Villarreal last week. I thought he dealt with Danjuma well. This season is Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. We got Bissaka from Crystal Palace for around 50 million. That was back in the summer of 2019. Tellez, I think he's also a good left back as well, but Tellez doesn't get in the team much. Tellez has only been playing recently because Luke Shaw's not been available. You know, Luke Shaw's been out with a concussion. He got the concussion in the 4-1 defeat to Watford. But Tellez, you know, yes, was good against Chelsea. And I thought he was good against Villarreal last week. Tellez was out with injury earlier on this season. The reason Manchester United brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Man United got Tellez in a deal worth 15.4 million with add-ons included. And Luke Shaw, you know, I think he's a good left back overall, but he certainly has not proven how good he can be this season. Luke Shaw's been terrible this season, and I'm shocked in that aspect because last season Luke Shaw was superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. I'm sure at some point Luke Shaw will regain his form this season. Shaw is injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years, so he has been a long-serving player. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his contract at Man United. You've also got Rafael Varane, that's a good centre-half. But he's already endured 2 injuries since he signed for the club. He's out with a hamstring injury at the moment. He's out for another 2 weeks, is he? Revert back to earlier on this season, Varane had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. But done well in some of the games he was involved in before he got these injuries. He's had a couple of games where he's looked off the pace. Eric Bailly, he's another one that's a good centre-half, but Bailly doesn't get regular game time. Bailly's made 4 appearances so far this season. Bailly put a good performance out against Chelsea last week, and the only reason he played against Chelsea because Maguire was suspended and Varane's injured. He was poor in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. He played well in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta earlier on this season, and he played well in the game against West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and for some reason Lindelof's been preferred to Eric Bailly. He's injury prone Bailly, which is a concern. Towards the end of last season he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. And you've got David De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. Got to give De Gea credit, he's done really, really well so far this season. De Gea did really well in the first half against Chelsea recently. He made some good saves to deny Hudson-Odoi, Rudiger, and I think he also denied Hakim Ziyech. De Gea also made some world-class saves in the 2-0 win against Villarreal last week. So there you go, there's very good players at Manchester United. Man United must have spent over £1 billion since Ferguson retired, and must have brought a good 40 odd players in since Fergie retired. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.